Make of the team's performance today?
We didn't start the game particularly well. We obviously conceded, which Lenny Yoro gets a forearm smash in the back of his head, and then they score the first goal. So didn't decide to overturn that decision. So that was a big moment in the game. We didn't quite have the rhythm. We didn't click. We had some moments, but it wasn't quite there for large parts of the first half. And then second half, I thought the boys, the way they went around it and stayed positive and fought for everything and tried to get something out of the game after another shocking decision to send Leach off. It's 2 games in a row we've had decisions like that go against us, but that one I have to say was one of the worst I've seen.
Have you sought an explanation from the referee? You clearly don't think it's a red card.
So you can elbow Lenny Yoro for the first goal in the side of the head, leaning arm obviously, and then you can throw your arm in Leach's face, and then as he's off balance because of that, and he half grapple and he kind of half touches the back of his ear, which then pulls the bobble out, which then leads to look like I don't even know what it looks like. It's not a pull, it's not a tug, it's not aggressive. He touches it and he gets sent off, and worst of all, he was actually sent to overturn it, clear and obvious error. It's shocking.
When you're looking at the difference between that first half, the second half, obviously the sending off goes against you. You're down to 10 men, but it seemed like there felt more energy. There was chances you get the goal back, perhaps almost an equaliser right at the end as well. What changed, do you think, in that sense?
Now the boys went for it. It's football, you know. Sometimes you don't have good spells in games, and other times you do. We know we can be better and we can do things better. You know, we'll obviously look at that, but the way this boys second half and could have got something out of the game, and I'm pleased the way we went into that. We spoke at half time about getting the next goal and trying to go on and win it, and it was obviously more difficult when you've got a man down.
People will question whether this 24-day break may have had an impact. Did you feel like it did?
It doesn't really make any difference, to be honest.
Going forward, busy couple of weeks now, important few weeks as well. What do you take from a game like this to work on in the next couple of games now?
Yeah, this is one game. All right, so we'll certainly look at it and we'll look to improve. We got another big game, an important game next week, and a big end to the season. We're in a really good position, you know. So tonight's disappointing. We obviously didn't want to lose at home, and we didn't want the referee's decisions to be so bad against us. But we got to move on, and we've got a big end to the season. So there's a lot to be positive about.
Michael, thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks very
Cheers.
much. See you soon.
Will he have learnt as much, or maybe even more, from that game and a defeat than he has some of the victories?
Yeah, he's obviously frustrated there with some of the refereeing decisions, but you have to suck it up as well, obviously. When you start the game so slowly, again, we give credit to Leeds, but United never got going. And yeah, he'll always be learning about this group. You know, he's still only been in the job a few months, and of course you're going to have your ups and downs, and it's been all applauded so far for him. So this is a big setback, and I still think there's no problem for United getting the Champions League, but they don't want to finish the season badly either. They want to kind of finish on a high and obviously trying to keep that run going. So he'll be tonight, especially against Leeds, the way they performed. I think it's a big setback for him.
Forearm smash. He described the incident leading up to the first goal here from Calvert-Lewin on Lenny Yoro. Jamie?
No, listen, I always think every challenge looks worse in slow motion. But for me, no. I think when that ball comes in, Yoro's going backwards, Calvert-Lewin's coming onto the ball, and he's a handful, Calvert-Lewin. And when you get up, you need that leverage with your arms as well. So for me, I wouldn't be expecting a foul there.
And then on the red card, he said again that Calvert-Lewin had thrown his arm into the face of Lisandro Martinez, who was then struggling for balance and grabbed what he could, was effectively what Michael Carrick was saying. And it wasn't given on the field by Paul Tierney, but John Brooks in VAR spotted something amiss and intervened and sent Paul Tierney off to the screen. Michael Carrick said it was a shocking decision, one of the worst that I've ever seen. The handbook, which the referees go by, Roy, says that a red card, if it's clearly pulling the hair of an opponent with force. And that's the question there. Do you see force?
Yeah, obviously I can try and see it from both sides. We're looking at the laws of the game here. And when you class this as violent conduct, as ex-players, that seems really harsh. But we've seen other players Was it Keane got sent off for Everton?
I thought that was really harsh. Yeah,
Keane got sent off.
Season, yeah.
So it is harsh, but if we're looking at the laws of the game, and if that's what it's been seen by VAR, obviously then shown to the referee, then you have to accept it. You're obviously not going to agree with it. You're going to, as Carrick is, he's disappointed with it. But we've seen it happen before the season.
What do you think, Jamie?
I go back a couple of years. I hope I've got this right, but I think it was Cucurella had something from a corner or a set piece. Was it Romero?
Yeah.
And it almost, I don't think anything happened to Romero because it almost felt like the officials didn't quite know what to do. And I don't know if he got a yellow card, but he certainly didn't get sent off. And almost felt from that period, it was like, hang on, if this happens, this is a red card. And that for me is 100% right. If someone really pulls someone here like that, I think we've saw a situation with there's a Gusto as well. Someone got sent off, I think, pulling Gusto's hair maybe a year or so ago. So it's everybody knows almost what the rule is now, pulling someone's hair. But I thought the Michael Keane on this season was not a red card, and I actually think that was softer. And he's going for the ball. Calvert-Lewin hasn't done nothing wrong. He's putting his arm out again, and he's almost just grappling, and he's just trying to grab onto something. You know, he's just caught the back of his head. It could have been his shirt, could have been anything, and he's literally got it. I think for about half a second, the back of his hair bun, and what Roy said there. We've just looked at the rule. A hair pulls a red card, and we all agree with that. Certainly the guidance, but Howard Webber, we speak to probably 2 or 3 times a season. Comes up with a line on certain situations that I actually like. Sometimes it's not about just the rule book, it's actually what does the game want. I don't think any football fan, I don't think anybody, any football manager, any player watching that at home is sitting there thinking, yeah, I think that's a red card. I think everybody in the game is looking at that and thinking, oh, come on, that is not a red card, behave yourself.
Because we're looking at a striker and a centre-half having a battle as well with each other. And we like that part of the game. Obviously, technical stuff is brilliant. But when they're having a good old battle, you're thinking, yeah, just get on with it. And that's what it seemed like today between the two players. And it just seems a bit harsh, to be fair.
OK. What about how Manchester United responded after they went down to 10?
Well, they responded well. Yeah, they were. And to be fair, I think it affected Leeds more than obviously the... United. Leeds didn't seem to know what to do, stick or twist. And obviously United, Bruno putting good quality in, and Casemiro. Wow, what a great header that is. In terms of when he attacks the ball.
It's absolutely Premier League goal of the season.
Absolutely. Maybe even his movement here, yeah, and Bruno, a great delivery, of course. But even Casemiro, it's not easy. But he does see it all the way. But wow, fantastic header.
He always seems to. The ball always seems to find him, doesn't it, in the box?
And that's a really good habit, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he finishes as well. It's not as if he's getting headers. He does finish a lot of the time. And then Bruno's getting deeper and he's spraying the balls left, right and centre. And you're thinking United, as you'd expect, United have nothing to lose. They're going to have a go and a couple of saves. And Calvert-Lewin, they're getting blocks. Leeds, of course, fighting for their lives. You're thinking, this is going to finish 2-2. And again, Leeds are fighting for their lives and had to dig in.
Listen, Manchester United have always done this and always will. No matter what the situation, if they're attacking the Stretford end, in that second half, teams just get dragged deeper and deeper. I've been there myself as a player. Listen, they're fantastic at it, and even when it was...
And you want this from your centre forward as well, don't you, Jamie, when you're fighting for your life?
Brilliant day. Listen, I think he mentioned on his interview as well, he's probably disappointed with a couple of chances, and he said, I almost repaid the team back for that. But listen, he's been brilliant for Leeds this season, and he plays a big part in both boxes aerially as well.
And do you think, Roy, there'll be an element of, the decision makers, Manchester United. We've talked about it a lot in terms of Michael Carrick's situation. We'll be sitting there thinking, OK, let's see how he responds to this and handles this.
Of course, and that's got to be the reaction. Now, for any team, when you have a setback, is next week going to Chelsea. Obviously, we saw Man City rip Chelsea apart in the second half yesterday. But it'll be a tough game for United going to Chelsea next week. And you don't want to have them doubts beginning from the ownership if we're thinking, we think Carrick's the man. Because just say, for example, they do start slipping up in the next few weeks, they'll be thinking twice, I think, about giving the job. Only natural.
We will see what happens. Some big games on the horizon for Michael Carrick and Manchester United, with Chelsea to come, with Liverpool in a couple of weeks as well. Now, he was a fine Premier League midfielder as well, wasn't he? But was he among the greatest of his generation?
Right, let's have a look at the big talking points of the second half when Leeds United were 2-0 up. And Manchester United's challenge down to 10 men, just 56 minutes into the game. Lisandro Martinez, after the intervention of VAR and John Brooks, Edwin, for violent conduct, pulling the hair of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. What do you make of this?
Yeah, of course, it's not nice. You can't do it. He's really grabbing for it. But I find a red card harsh for for that. Like it's for me it would be a yellow. It's probably in the books and everything, the rules. It's violent conduct is a red card. But that it's not nice. But yellow card is fine.
Yeah, I mean, Edwin summed it up really. It's in the rules that it's red. What can you do? What can the referee do? He gets made aware of it. He doesn't see it in normal time. I didn't see it in normal time. Not many people did, I'm sure. But then when you look at it, he does grab his hair. He does pull it. It is in the rule book.
And the players know those rules.
And the players know that. In fact, is that the third one this season? I think there's certainly been Michael Keane got sent off for Everton for doing it. Pretty sure it's the third one. But anyway, everybody knows that it's a red card. So as much as I understand what Edwin's saying, a yellow card, it doesn't feel the worst crime in the world. It's not like he's broken his leg or something. I don't know what the referee can do other than give him a red card.
How many games suspension will this be?
It's violent conduct. It'll be 3.
Will be 3?
Yeah, which is double pain.
Top of whatever, a red card.
Harry Maguire's coming back, but it's no consolation for Martinez, is it?
No. But it seemed to galvanise United. The handbrake was well and truly off, and Casemiro got the goal, and Old Trafford was up and believing at this point.
Absolutely, it's always nice to play this side. Well, of course, you want to win, you want to be in front and everything. But when you're down, you know that Stratford End will do something special. And when the ball goes into the box, Casemiro, it's a great header. When he finds the back post and everything, and steers it to the back post. And that way, it's galvanizing the team a little bit. We got a few other opportunities after that. Some stretches, Leeds felt a little bit in panic. Sometimes they had 10 minutes of ball possession, but it was just not enough to get the equaliser done.
Yeah, they did have a couple of goal mouth incidents, shall we say, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin for once prevented them right on the line, didn't he?
Yeah. Quite incredible,
in the end.
Yeah, I mean, full credit to Manchester United. In that second half, they did have a go, and as we all know, with 10 men for the vast majority of it, and Calvert-Lewin there at the double. I mean, quite incredible. We all look at Calvert-Lewin and think, how important is he in the other box? But that's like scoring a goal. Twice he denies Manchester United. I mean, it's a great header. From Casemiro. How good is he in the air? Incredible for someone of his size. He times and brave in the air. But Calvert-Lewin did exceptional well.
It's nice to see, the things that you speak before the game. So your position is 6 yard box. If the ball goes over the top of you, you drop back on the line. Sometimes you forget it, but this specific action, it was there. It saved them. Whatever, the equaliser and 3 points probably on the way to safety for Leeds United.
Absolutely. A huge intervention there from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Nothing then for Manchester United tonight, a second defeat under Michael Carrick. Here's the United skipper, Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno, there was a lot to that game, but how do you assess it?
No, we gave the game away in the first half. We were not up to the game straight away with their intensity. We knew they wanted to press us 1v1. We had to be better on the first ball, but even better in the second ball. We weren't great. We gave too much space away, and we end up going 2-0 down. We had time still in the second half to turn it around, but it was not possible.
What was the message at half-time to try and change things?
No, the message was just by the manager was just for us to try to lift the standard on the intensity, try to be a little bit more aggressive, and that's it.
People will obviously be questioning the break that there's been 24 days in between matches. Do you put that down to the way that you performed tonight?
No, it is what it is. We're out of the FA Cup, so we have to blame ourselves to be out of the game for so long. That's what it is. The game was today. We had to prepare ourselves in the best way. We did, but wasn't enough to win the game today.
There was a moment as well where Martinez was sent off. He was shown a red card. How was that explained to you?
I'm not talking about the referee. If I talk about the referee, I'm going to get in very, very big trouble because the rules are different for everyone and apply different for everyone. The difference in the yellow cards, you can also see it. So it's better that I don't say anything.
Okay, going forward then, still lots to play for, still in a really good position in terms of Champions League qualification. What do you learn from a game like this to go into the rest of really important games for the end of the season?
No, it doesn't change anything of what we want to achieve. We know that our aim is to stay in the top four. It's all by our side. We have to win our games, and if we do that, we're going to be in the position we want to be at the end of the season.
Yes, they're still in a strong position. 24 days without a game, and Leeds have just played a quarter-final and got into a semi-final. Does that come into it at all in terms of that slow start, do you feel, sharpness-wise?
I think Leeds was they were all over Man United in the first half, and of course it's a reason. You can point at that 24 days, 25 days without a game. I think we've seen some pictures of people a couple of days off. They went on holiday, went to the US, and the training camp in Ireland. It's not the same as preparing for a match. When you have a pre-season or mid-season break, let's say, what you have in Holland, and you go away for training camp a week, you know when the game is. And this period, more than 3 weeks, it's a long period. But I think Leeds deserved the win, the result in the first half. They were a better team. They were well equipped. They set out their intentions, and they got the goals. And second half, United came back, but just not enough. And so you can point at that reason, but I don't think it's a fair one.
And should credit be given to Leeds there, because we've seen a lot of teams near the bottom go to grounds like Old Trafford and put players behind the ball and just try and hit on the counter. They were right on the front foot into United faces from the start tonight.
Yeah, they were. And I don't think they know another way to play, really. I think they like that system, the energy that they've got. I thought the system played a big role, actually, in dominating that first half against Manchester United. You know, when they bring their two attacking players inside, I felt it was difficult for the fullbacks to track them, especially then if the wing backs of Leeds would go and run into that space. So the fullbacks were almost staying in their positions, and then they were getting room in behind Casemiro and Ugarte as well. So I thought the system killed Manchester United in the first half, and they had to tweak it a little bit to prevent that in the second half. It's a fascinating system. It's strange, isn't it? Because Manchester United struggles so much to play with a three at the back. But some teams, when it clicks, system to play against.
Well, it was a mid-season change, wasn't it?
It was and almost forced upon him, really. Everything was going wrong, and it was like, what else can we do? And they just changed it, and all of a sudden they landed on something.
Half time at City. Yeah.
The players really got a grip of the system. As I say, it can be a very, very difficult formation to pick up, but if you play it right, it's so difficult to play against. And I think Manchester United found that in the first half.
That's interesting. But they didn't show any fear, did they, for a team in a relegation battle?
No, I must say I have not seen Leeds United too much, of course, in preparation of this game. So a few highlights and everything. But they surprised me very much how they set up. It was very positive. They played some nice football, great crosses into the box. Maybe United heaped some difficulties on themselves and everything. Casemiro scanning what was getting robbed of the ball.
Was Mainu missing there tonight from Man United?
I think what Michael Carrick did exceptionally well, also bringing Mainu back in. It's a graduate of the youth system. So to bring somebody back, I think for United it's really important to have the youth coming through. And I think he represents a certain value. So to bring him back in, making sure that he's appreciated, and I think he made a difference also in many games. And I think with the two midfielders, Ugarte and Casemiro, I think it's a little bit the same, similar type of players. Of course, Casemiro, a little bit more strength and attacking wise than Ugarte, but I think they missed him, and I'm not really sure even the first half. With Benjamin Sesko up front, if that was the right option to go for.
Well, he didn't hold back on his opinion there of the red card, but as we've already discussed, the rules are the rules. Chelsea away next. They're still in a very strong position. It's about how they respond now.
Well, what a great position Manchester United have got themselves into. When they lose to Leeds, it's such a disappointing result, but you still really fancy them to settle, in third position in the Premier League and qualify for the Champions League. And that's
all due to the hard work and the points that they've picked up, obviously in the previous couple of months. So they're in a very good position. Disappointing, obviously, and they're big rivals, Leeds United, but they've pretty much done most of the work, and they'll be in the Champions League next year.
OK, Michael, thank you as always. Edwin, great to see you. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Sorry you had to watch Manchester United lose, but it's a big night for Leeds United and a big win at the bottom. See you soon.
United, thankfully for them, because they won a short commute, about an hour to get from one spot to the other. So those who made that trip rewarded with that celebration. Paul Burmeister, Robbie Earle, Tim Howard. Robbie, let's start this way. Let's put into context. You saw how joyful that celebration was. What this means to the worry of the relegation zone for that side?
Well, for a team like Leeds United, who are sort of crawling their way to safety, getting the odd points here and there, hadn't won in 6, I believe, hadn't scored in the last 4 Premier League games. To go to Manchester United, to have a game plan that they'd definitely worked on, to have a system of play where the wing-backs caused all kind of problems, to make a big call with your centre-forward, who hadn't scored Mecha, takes him out of the team, brings Okafor in, who gets you a brace. Kind of everything that Daniel Farke would have wanted, he's got today, and he's got the 3 points. And that's a massive step towards Leeds United being in the Premier League. When we used to play back in the day, we always used to say, if you're struggling down at the bottom, a point per game. So there's 38 games, get a point per game, 38 points will generally keep you in the league. Leeds have 36 points now. So they ain't far off being safe.
6 points clear, Tim, with only 6 matches left.
And a better goal difference than the teams below them. So I look at that as like teams need 3 results to sort of better Leeds, and then Leeds need to drop that. So they're in a good position. For those at home watching, you can't discount what that means, that win means to Leeds. The Leeds-Manchester United rivalry is amazing. It's awful at times, but it's amazing. And so it's big. To win at Old Trafford as a Leeds player is huge. That gets them from 33 to 36. Those players know that that's what part of that celebration was. As Robbie touched on, every bit of the game plan worked really well. This is the hard part about trying to look at the fixtures remaining and go, and we all do it. They'll get a result here, that team won't get a result. Back in the season, the last 4, 5, 6 games, teams get results out of nowhere that you didn't expect, that they haven't gotten all season. And this is a perfect example of it. No one would have had Leeds going to Manchester United and winning the form that United was in. But this is what happens at the back end of the season.
And just jotting down who we're going to take a listen to here momentarily. But before we focus more on Leeds, as for Manchester United guys, it's not just the fact that they lost getting those 3 points. You take a look at Michael Carrick, and everything he's doing now as the interim manager has to be looked at through the lens of his effort to be the permanent manager.
Well, it was interesting because ahead of this game, we had players coming out saying, almost give him the job, he's ready for the job, and he was sort of playing it back. And I always think that's dangerous. Keep playing, keep winning matches. That's how the manager will get the job. There was a lot of firsts for Michael Carrick today. His first defeat at home, the first time his team got booed at half-time. I thought the first time he looked a little bit shocked by what he was seeing, and almost like when they went down to 10 men, it looked more likely they would score then than when they had 11 men on the pitch. And so it's a big learning, and his reaction and what comes next might play a part in whether he is the permanent guy or not. There's still some work for Michael Carrick to do to land this job permanently.
A lot of focus on him down the stretch.
Yeah, and look, it's not, as you said, it's not like automatically he should get him the job. And if he loses, you shouldn't. This is one big, huge picture that they're going to take of him. But there's going to be days like this.
2 goals for